What's good, everybody? Timeless Traveler here, and welcome back to Timeless Traveler's Tutorials. In today's video, we're going to be breaking the rules of Bedrock with an incredible add-on developed by a creator known as Lightslab that gives us Shulker reproduction parity with Java, allowing us to farm Shulker Shells on the Bedrock Edition. He has given me permission to make this video, so thank you to Lightslab for letting me make this video and for bringing the long overdue parity to the Bedrock Edition. Please take a look down below in the description for a link to his website that provides the download link for the required add-on, as well as a link to his YouTube channel. Feel free to like his content, subscribe, and or comment with a thank you for making this possible on Bedrock. I'm sure Lightslab will greatly appreciate it. Also, if you comment, subscribe, or like his videos, then your farm rates will increase by at least 20%. And of course, don't forget to like this video, subscribe if you're not already, and hit that notification bell to stay up to date on all my content releases. Now, not only is this farm easier to build compared to other Java farms out there, it is cheaper to build compared to other Java farms, but also we are going to have higher rates compared to the average Java farms as well, with a lot of them out there ranging anywhere between the mid 200s to the mid 500s, 700s. Some of them would do 1,000. Very rarely, you'd have to put a lot of work into those ones. This one, as you can see, it's very small, very compact, takes up less than a chunk of space, and we are going to get about 700 shells per hour, ranging anywhere between about 10 to 12 stacks of Shulker shells per hour. To put it into perspective, we got about just over 10 stacks of Shulker shells, and this is about the average that you will be making with this farm at an hourly rate. Now, while it does produce more shells than the average Java farm and it's cheaper and easier to build, as we can see, we are in fact using 8 Shulkers to power this farm. But don't let that startle you. I know managing Shulkers is a bit of a hassle, but we can actually start this farm and start feeding it more Shulkers with just 2. So in the tutorial, we're going to be talking about how to set up the very first module. We have 4 modules here. We'll set up the first one, and then we will use the reproduction mechanics from these 2 Shulkers, and then we will create more Shulkers and put them into the other 3 modules to get the farm at full power. So let's talk about the mechanics of how this farm works. For those who don't know the way Shulkers are reproducing in the Java edition, it's very simple. With this add-on, you will need to have your game difficulty set to hard, and then the Shulkers have to be hit by a bullet, either from its own or from another Shulker. The Shulker must have less than 50% of its health to be considered fertile or ready to reproduce and teleport away, and there must be less than 9 Shulkers within 8 blocks of the Shulker who was hit. And as you can see, we are meeting all of those conditions perfectly. Obviously, the farm is working, so our game difficulty is set to hard. And what is happening right now is that the Shulkers see the snow golem, and right now, if we go ahead and flick this, you'll see, okay, they don't see them anymore. But if we flick it again, they'll see them, they go aggro, they yeet their bullets, and the snow golem throws their snowballs, hits the bullet back, the bullet bounces and hits the Shulker. Over time, their health dwindles down, down, until it reaches under 50%. Then it gets hit, and as we can see right there, it just did a duplication and teleported straight down. Now, the way we have this set up is that every single solid block in this farm is completely covered in either buttons or glass. That is going to make sure that the Shulkers do not teleport to those spaces. We want to make sure that all the solid spots, all the solid blocks are meant for the kill chamber, which is why we are going to be using magma blocks. It is a solid block the Shulker will teleport to, but it also causes fire damage, so the Shulkers simply burn to death. And we have a hopper minecart system right underneath, picking up all of the items. Sometimes you'll see Shulkers teleporting here, but that's fine. Don't worry about that. They'll immediately come straight back up there. Nothing to worry about. And then it'll just continue to deliver those amazing Shulker shells. If your simulation distance will allow it, and if your console can handle this many entities all at once, we are also going to do a brief tutorial on how to stack these farms and how to place them side by side. This is stackable, and it is also tileable because we can put them on top of each other and we can place them side by side. And if you were wondering what the rates would be for something like this, one farm is, like I said, we're going to get about 10 stacks. If we were to stack 4 of these on top of each other, we are looking at about a full single chest of Shulker Shells, a little over a single chest of Shulker Shells per hour. So if we put 2 of these together, this is a total of 8 farms. If you are brave enough to try using this many Shulkers, and if your device can handle it, you're going to be getting well over a full double chest of Shulker Shells per hour. So once we have the basic farm with one setup of 4 modules put together, I'm going to show you how to space them apart and make it possible to place them on top of each other, and then how to space it apart so we can put them side by side. For some, just one farm by itself is more than enough Shulker Shells if you are like me, or if you are on a realm server and you want to make sure everyone has enough storage, then maybe stacking and tiling would be a good fit for you. So take a look at the near the end of the video to see how we put this together. Now, this farm will work with just 1 module or 1 branch or 2 Shulkers, but the rates are so low, it's honestly not really worth it to just get away with 1. If you don't want to transport 8 Shulkers to this farm, what you can do is you can build the first module, and then I will talk about how to duplicate the Shulkers like I mentioned earlier, and how to get them into the other 3 slots. You're going to want to have all 4 branches for optimal rates to get those 10 to 12 stacks per hour. Otherwise, you're not going to get a lot. You probably would make more Shulker Shells just straight up end busting with just 1 branch. So let's go ahead and plan on building all 4 of them to maximize the rates. But I'm going to show you how to build the first one, and then just watch this video again 3 more times to figure out how to put these ones together, unless you have it memorized the first time around. After we have that established, we're going to talk about how to stack it and how to tile it. So let's go ahead and let's start the tutorial. Go ahead and check the description down below for a full resource list. Also, to start out this farm, we're going to bridge out away from the main end island where you beat the dragon. We want to make sure that there is nothing below us other than the vast expanse and nothingness of the void, to ensure that Shulkers have nowhere else to go except for our controlled kill chamber that we're going to create, okay? When you bridge out, you want to use either glass or sea lanterns or leaves to come over to this spot to build the farm. Otherwise, in the process of teleporting your Shulkers and, you know, coming over to the farm to build it, you're going to get swarmed with endermen. So basically make sure that they are spawn-proof blocks. Once you're over here, we're going to build a 9x9 platform made of glass. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And it's just building a 9x9. Go ahead and fill that all the way in. Very good. You should have this nice little 9x9 platform. Now, this is basically, we are using this as the underneath spawn-proof blocks to prevent the Shulkers from teleporting underneath the solid blocks. Okay, that'll all make sense in just a moment, but go ahead and grab that glass and wrap it all the way around, just making a little lip. So these are non-teleportable blocks. Basically, any solid block that we have in this farm needs to be covered on every single side. So right now, Shulkers can't access this side, nor can they access this side, okay? So that's why we have the glass here. You can also cover the underneath with buttons. But I feel like this might just be a little bit easier to do. Just building the platform with glass and placing these on top. Next, you're going to want to get your solid block here. And you're going to want to get your solid block right there. Go ahead and place your redstone block right there in that corner. And a redstone block right there in that corner. Okay. Go ahead and find the middle. So starting from the corner of your 9x9 platform, you can come in by 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And you're going to place a strip of redstone blocks all the way across. It should look kind of like a division sign with the 2 points off to the very far edges. Once you have that, we're going to go ahead and fill this all the way in with your solid blocks. It does not matter what it is, as long as they are the solid blocks. By now, you should have something that looks like this. We've just filled in the space that is showing off the division sign. We're going to go ahead and now storage is going to be entirely up to you. Just be mindful, barrels do count as spawnable blocks, I think. So if you're using barrels as your storage, you're going to want to make sure that you have, you know, glass or leaves covering all the sides. Chests are safe because they're not even a full block. We don't have to worry about that at all. But once you have your chest, whatever form of storage you want to do, as long as it is completely spawn proof, we're going to break all of these blocks. And we're just going to connect our hoppers into the chest. So every time the minecarts go over the hoppers, it dumps out the shulker shells and comes into our storage chest. Now, depending on which direction you are facing when you place the rails, whether you are going east and west or south, north and south, it's going to change which direction the rails behave when you place them down. So right now they are going towards north and south. So what's going to happen here? You want to be careful. So you're going to place your powered rails here all the way across, just like this. And we're going to curve around and you're going to bring it across. Now watch what's going to happen here. See, we don't want that little connection to happen. So if your rails if you're facing the other direction, you don't have to worry. But in my case, we have that little connection here. So you may have to break that block real quick just to force alignment of this one. Then you can curve that rail around. Once that's done, you can put your solid block back, and then you never have to worry. You just go ahead and continue this, bringing down your powered rails and then your regular rails. And then as you can see, it all lines up perfectly. By the time you get to the end, it should look like this. We have a nice straight circuit going all the way there and all the way back. Make sure, because this is a solid block, that we proof it on all sides. That we don't have to worry because that is being touched by a rail, but you're going to want to do that to this one as well. Go ahead, place down your minecart with a hopper, give it a little test run, make sure that it all works. You can throw some items in there real quick if you so want. And then as we can see, it's going to end up right there. Perfect. And then it's going to bounce back. That is exactly where we want it to be. From here, we're going to go ahead and wall up by one with some glass. Now, you don't have to use, like I said earlier, you can use, this could all be leaves if you want, or it could all be glass, or it could be a mix of the two. I'm going to be doing a mix of the two because I think it looks nicer that way. And now we're going to place down our magma blocks. This is filling in or being right above that 9x9 platform that we made from the start. So all the shulkers are going to land here. They're going to die from taking burn damage, and then the hopper minecart is going to recover all those items and place them in our storage. From here, what I like to do is I'm going to come up with some leaves, and then we're going to wrap all the way around. And don't forget, this can just be glass if you want. I'm using leaves for decorative purposes, but either way, when you're done, whether it's glass or leaves, from this magma block, you want to come up by 1 and 2. So in this case, we're coming up with a wall of 3 leaves, and it is going to be 2 blocks above the magma blocks. And when you're done, we should have something that looks a bit like this. Now, what I like to do is, this is for safety purposes. This is also just so you can watch the shulkers up close as they burn to death. What we're going to do is we're going to create a casing. Now, this is optional, but if you end up falling down here while the farm is active, just be prepared to not just take burn damage, but also to get hit by a bunch of shulker bullets. It's nothing too lethal if you have decent gear on, but it's just a nice little safety precaution, a good little safety net to kind of keep yourself protected while the farm is running. Now we're ready to begin building our 4 modules. Again, I'm going to build the first one with you together, and then go ahead and build the other 3 on your own. Just replay this video a couple times over. So basically, we want to find the Y level for our magma blocks. So what we're going to do, I'm just going to turn on the coordinates real quick. I'm going to come down here. So we're in 67, and that means that is at 66. We're going to go up by about 16 from the magma block, so that puts us at 84. So go ahead and stack yourself up until you reach 16 blocks above from the magma block. Place your block down on that 16th block, so 84 is right here. And so we're going to be on top at 85. This is your centerpiece. So from here, you're going to branch out in all 4 cardinal directions, building each module one at a time, or you can build them all together. It's up to you, really. So what we're going to start off with is you're going to take your solid block, pick any direction for now, go out by 2 blocks, place down some glass, place down your soul sand, and then 3 pieces of glass. You should have something that looks like this coming out from the center all the way to the edge. Then I want you to place down a slab right here and a trapdoor right here. It really doesn't matter what direction it's facing, as long as you get it on there. That is what matters the most. Because we have solid blocks here, of course, you should already know by now, we need to make sure that they are shulker proofed. Same thing with your soul sand. So buttons, glass, leaves, whatever you want to use, as long as shulkers cannot teleport onto it. Next, we're going to build the cage for the snow golem. So we're going to come up, and you can actually break this one if you want, or you can keep it here. It's entirely up to you. We're going to come up, and we're going to kind of build a little 2-high cage for our snow golem. Okay. Then I want you to place a temporary block here, and then a solid block right there. You're going to break that, place down a trapdoor. Make sure that it's facing either this way or it's facing in the other way, like this. We don't want it opening out to the side. This is what we want to avoid, that right here. Otherwise, it defeats the purpose in having it there, okay? So make sure it's facing either this way or this way. Then you're going to want to go ahead, place a lever on here. It doesn't matter which direction it goes, and flick it on. It should be closed. Then we're going to go ahead and we're going to just fill up the rest of this space. These are solid blocks we're dealing with, so we want to make sure that they are covered on all 4 sides. Before you put one in here, go ahead and build your snow golem real quick. Place down 2 bits of snow and place your pumpkin. Then you can place this just like that. And then right here, what I want you to do is we're going to come up like this. We'll get to that in just a moment. Break this, because we're going to have water here. Go ahead and bring this up by 3 on both sides. Slight mistake. Okay, so make sure, I don't know if I did it earlier, but make sure that the trapdoor is actually on the glass block. I think I did it earlier and I must have misplaced it when I was breaking one of the blocks. So make sure that it is on the glass block and it stays closed. These 2 solid spaces need to stay open and available for our shulkers. Once we have this, you're going to want to place a temporary block right there. And then you can go ahead and just place some glass right there. You're going to get a trapdoor, and it doesn't matter what direction because it's never going to open. Just put it right there. Now what we can do here is you can go ahead and temporarily break this. Whatever water method you want to use ice, 3 water buckets, or 1 water bucket and some kelp. That is entirely up to you. Just fill that up by 3 and then place that glass back. Get out your water again. And make sure that you waterlog your lever. This is to prevent the shulkers from teleporting occasionally onto the lever, decreasing your rates, and of course breaking your farm, because then it fills up the shulker capacity. We don't want that to happen. We always want to make sure that they have 8 shulkers here at any time, because every single one that goes beyond that is going to come straight down here. So occasionally this may happen. Just make sure you put that in there as a precaution to prevent shulkers from teleporting there. Then we're just going to build up these walls. And coming up just like that. Go ahead and build that up like here, like that. And you can cover this space. And this is going to pretty much be it. If you want, in testing, I think nothing happened when these weren't covered. What does tend to happen though in my testing is that when this space and this space is open, sometimes the shulker bullets will fly out and go off in some random direction. So if you don't want to have that stress on your mind, just go ahead and fill that in on both sides. And that's really all there is to it, everybody. That is one entire module. Now, before we talk about getting the shulkers in here, we're going to fast forward, go ahead and repeat this 3 more times. Remember that this is your centerpiece. So when you start off your 2nd, 3rd, and 4th module, from that center glass block, you're going to come out by 2. You're going to place down your glass. You're going to place down your soul sand, and then place down your 3 bits of glass. Same thing over here, 2 solid blocks. the glass, the soul sand, 3 bits of glass, and then of course one more time over here, 2 solid blocks of glass, soul sand, and 3 glass. So go ahead, watch this video back a couple times, rebuild this entire thing on the other 3 branches. And that wasn't so bad, was it? Now that you have all 4 of these, we can talk about loading in our shulkers. Now, there is no easy way to manage the shulkers. There is just, you just got to be super, super careful. You're going to have to use your mine rail systems and make this as automated as possible, meaning make sure that you use powered rails and that you're not pushing the shulkers and the minecarts because you're going to be getting hit by the bullets. It's going to be a process. You can bring them in straight through here and, you know, just slowly just kind of creep around the corner, break the minecart, seal it up, put the other one in, or you can try to drop them in from above and then break the minecarts after that. Just be careful though, because you are going to have to deal with the shulker bullets one way or another. Just watch out for that. But either way, whatever you pick, whatever you choose, we're going to go ahead. Now we have our shulkers in here. Or make sure everything is closed. All the switches are, all the trapdoors are covering the line of sight, and every single solid block is covered by a shulker proofed block. So buttons, glass, or leaves. Okay. After that, let's just say we only have 2 shulkers in. So we're going to go ahead and flick that switch. And once the health gets below 50% and he gets hit by his bullet again, he's going to reproduce himself and then drop straight down there. And that's pretty much all there is to it. As you can see, he quickly reproduced and then just shot down there, and now he's being harvested by the farm. And I don't think I mentioned this earlier, but as the bubble column here, sometimes when the shulker bullets come through, they don't get hit by the snowball. This is to protect the snow golem, so you'll see sometimes the bubble column shoots it up, and that's why we have this covered right here as well to prevent it from going off anywhere else. Now let's talk about if you only want to teleport 2 shulkers because maybe the closest end city only has 2, or you only have 2 left, or for whatever reason you just don't want to deal with bringing in 8 shulkers, or if you're expanding this farm and stacking and tiling it 16, 24, 32 shulkers, however many you want. You just want to start out with 2, that's fine. What we'll do with this kill chamber is we're going to change this to non-killing blocks. We're going to allow the farm to continue to stay active. While that's happening, we're just going to load up on shulkers, live shulkers down here. And we're basically just going to be breeding them without killing them. Once you feel like you have enough, when you need, how many? 6 shulkers. Same thing. Same process that it took to get those 2 here in the first place. So you're going to have to set up some minecarts, get some rails, automate it with some powered rails, and have them pick up the shulkers through the farm and have them deliver them up into these other 4 or other 3 modules. And then after that extensive tiring process, make sure to replace all of the non-killing solid blocks with the magma blocks again. Then you have all 8 shulkers in here. You're ready to go. Make sure you check all of your water sources. Make sure that's got water in it. Make sure all your solid blocks are shulker proofed. Go ahead and turn on those other 3 levers, and you have a fully powered shulker farm. Now, for the average player, this farm is pretty much complete, and this is all you're going to need. Just stay here for a day or 2, and you'll have a couple double chests of shulker shells after that time. Now, if you're someone like me and you really want to see how far Bedrock shulker farming can go, or you just you're definitely afraid of running out of shulker boxes like me, then we can talk about how to stack it and how to place them side by side to each other. So basically, all we do to stack it is you're going to, of course, build the exact same farm. And from this level, this platform right here, we are basically spacing about 20 blocks apart. So that's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So about 19, 20 blocks from this platform that the shulkers are on all the way to the second platform that the shulkers are on. You want to have at least 19 spaces apart. I'd say round up, make it 20, make it nice and even. So just make sure that we have plenty of space in between both arms. Give yourself a good 19 or round up to 20 spaces in between the floor of the farm and the floor of that farm. Now, when it comes to tiling and putting them side by side next to each other, it's very, very simple. Now, it's not simple in the resource sense because you're going to basically be building this entire thing one more time right over here. I already got a little bit of a start for you to visually see. And, oh, looks like I missed a spot. And so what we did here is you're going to find your center. So from the 9x9 platform, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, you're going to come in by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. You can go a little bit shorter. You can space out by about 3 or 4, but we want to make sure that you got yourself enough wiggle room in between. So give yourself a nice distance of 6. Then go ahead on that 7th block, start your new 9x9 platform, and then rebuild your farm, stack it up as high as you want, and just make it rain with shulkers and shulker shells. And that's pretty much it for how to build the shulker farm, how to build the module, how to fill up your farm with more shulkers by just reproducing them here instead of having to get all of them at end cities. We talked about how to stack it, how to tile it, and of course where to go to get this add-on. So thank you all again so much for watching. I am Timeless Traveler, and this was Timeless Traveler's Tutorials, how to build a shulker farm on the Bedrock Edition. Big shout out and special thank you to the creator known as Lights Lab. Again, all of you wanting to put this together, please make sure you take a look at his website. The only place you can get his add-on is through his website, so make sure you go there. Get that installed onto whatever device you have. If you're on console, use your Realms account. If you're on PC, then you have no issue. But the main thing is find a way to get this add-on onto your device and then set up this farm for your shulker shell harvesting. Don't forget to visit his YouTube channel as well to leave Lights Lab a subscribe, a like, or a comment. Just thank him for his work and for making this possible on the Bedrock Edition. I know myself, as well as many other players out there, are beyond grateful for this, as we have been long overdue to have shulker farming parity with Java, and it's nice that we finally have that available to us. So thanks again. Let him know, leave a comment on his videos, and your rates will increase by another 20%. And as always, make sure to like this video, subscribe if you have not already, and slap the notification bell to stay up to date on all my future videos. Also, don't forget to reach out to me if you have any questions, comments, or concerns. If you have any issues with this farm, any troubleshooting, if there's something that maybe I missed, or you're not understanding, or you just you're confused, let me know. Reach out to me. I will be available as much as possible to try to make sure that you can get the most out of your shulker shell farming experience. So once again, thank you again, Lights Lab, and to all the viewers, thank you all for watching. You all take care, have an amazing day, and I will see you in the next video.